Tentacles? Why did it have to be tentacles?
Now for some people, myself included, a game being crazy is more than enough of a reason to plop down $60 to check it out. Fortunately for Bayonetta's case, it's got $60 worth of crazy and tons of great game underneath it. Now underneath its crazy exterior, it has fantastic combat, likable characters, and most importantly, and what's becoming rarer and rarer these days, Bayonetta is absolutely worth the $60 you're going to pay for it. It's got more bang for your buck that you're going to find in a game of this type outside of an RPG. To give you a little bit more insight into Bayonetta, let me say that it was developed by Hideki Kamiya, the man that gave the world Devil May Cry and brought God Hand to me, one of my roommates, and about 5 other people. He's a master of really crazy and creative worlds, but his gameplay has always been a little too much for the hardcore for that kind of wide exposure. Devil May Cry kind of caught the era, but God Hand was so frustratingly awesome, very few people would want to touch it. Fortunately for Bayonetta, the combat is a breeze. Everything is joined together under a central combo tree. A mixes of punch and kicks, and you can throw a jump in there every now and then if an enemy gets knocked up in the air. It's all very easy to memorize because no matter what weapon or skill you're using, they all build off of the same combo tree. The fights are based more on feel. The several other factors that really liven up the combat is, first off, you get to practice every time the game loads. And they also have a little number next to every time you've done a combo, which, I don't know, for the achievement hunter crazy guy in me, and me experiment with different combos that the numbers would pop up more and more and more, and you also got to see which ones you were depending on too much. Also, during combat, something that sets it aside from the Devil May Cry and God Hand predecessors, is that Bayonetta is really about active defense. The right trigger on an Xbox 360 controller, and I have to imagine R2 on a PS3 controller, is the dodge button. Now when you dodge, you're able to completely avoid attacks, just as the name sounds, but if you do it at the last second, you activate Witch Time, which is basically bullet time or slow motion, which allows you to unleash massive amounts of damage, or in certain cases, finally be able to hurt some of your angelic foes. Now Witch Time is a great deal of fun, and by the time you're done with it, kind of becomes a crutch. I will spoil it for you, the final difficulty you unlock has no Witch Time, and that is a completely different game. Now to also spice things up during combat, underneath your health bar, you have your magic bar, which can be used for a whole bunch of things, mainly from the items that you collect at Rodan's shop, but it's also used for torture attacks, which can be done in the middle of combat to up your combo multiplier and gain extra bonus points, and more importantly, gain a few brief moments of invulnerability while you're playing a little Mario Party-esque minigame, be it spinning the left joystick or mashing on the B, Y, or A buttons until something dies. Now to close things off, in boss combat, Bayonetta lets down her hair, which is the source of her power, and you're allowed to do kind of really cool cinematic quick time events that are used to counter or deal massive blows. On top of that, boss combat is awesome. And Bayonetta defeating a boss, which is a stage-like event with checkpoints, thank you. Multi-stage battles where you usually need to tear off, in most cases, an arm or a face, they have multiple faces, to finally weaken things down to a final health bar where they are an average damage spun. It's a lot of fun, and kind of a little bit of a combat puzzle once you figure it all out. You have to see these bosses. Some of them are truly gigantic and kind of mind-bendingly different. Along with the combat, the cast of characters is very strong in this game. Everyone is exactly what they need to be. Now, Bayonetta is your strong female lead. She's part librarian, part witch, part angel-slaying, crazy, quick-time goddess. I mean, it feels hard to describe Bayonetta without sounding like I'm writing some kind of Frank Miller fanfiction. She's like 10 feet tall and has guns on her feet. Try to describe that without sounding stupid. The other standout character for me is Luca, because he joins Frank West in my loving list of how Japan views journalism. Now the final pillar of Bayonetta is the bang for your buck factor. I have sunk over 57 hours into this game. I mean, that's more time than I put into BioWare's Dragon Age. Just kind of let that one sit in your head. And I'm nowhere close to done. I still have one final achievement to grab and tons of unlockables left to collect. In this day and age, an unlockable almost feels like an alien idea. So many of these things that I ended up collecting, costumes, alternate weapons, other characters, extra stages and modes, these days they'd normally be DLC, but in Bayonetta it's something else to do, because there's something else to always unlock that has a change on the gameplay, other than the costumes. You don't really feel like you're wasting your time with this game. I mean, I still have 3 weapons to unlock, and I really want to play more of Bayonetta using those weapons. One of them is apparently a giant golden chainsaw. Who wouldn't want to use that? This game is fantastic, it's great, and it keeps on giving. And just like God End, it ends with a musical dance number. So do yourself a favor. If you have $60 laying around, or if you are a jerk and want to wait for it to go down to 40 or 30, buy it new, pick it up, give Hideki Kamiya the hit he deserves. Check out Bayonetta. If I used a score system, it would be 5 out of 5. Check this one out. I love this game.